Hey, Sweetie Pie, it's Dad. I am just going to walk you through changing the oil in your car since you just got it, and I want you to know how to do it. So here it is. I already rolled it up on ramps. So if you do need to lift this with a jack, this is actually where you'd put the jack right here. So and this is right behind the front wheel, right here, and then you look underneath the car and you'll see this right here. This is where the jack goes. If you look in your owner's manual, there's a jack in the back that comes with the vehicle and it actually fits onto this thing here, right here. So that's where you'd lift it. But I put it up on the ramps, and then underneath, I never like to crawl underneath the car under any circumstances unless it is absolutely supported. So I also put these jack stands under here, just in case. You never know, those could suddenly let loose or something bad happens, and I just want the jack stands under there. So those are just underneath this structural strong point here. If these ramps suddenly crushed for some reason, if there was a weak spot on them and I didn't know about it and they crushed, and my body was underneath the car, these jack stands would keep it from crushing my body. And you should do that too if you ever crawl underneath a car. There's no amount of support that you can put under a car that makes me feel comfortable being under it. So that's it. Now, getting underneath the car, we're going to take a look at where you actually change the oil. Let me see if I can guide you in here. So this is the front of the car right here, right? Now I'm going to come underneath the car and come back. Here is the exhaust coming off of the motor, and then just a little bit beyond that is the drain hole for the oil. We're just going to take that out and the oil is going to come out. And actually, if we look at the bottom of the oil pan here, it actually says engine oil with a little arrow pointing to the drain plug. So that is the drain plug. That's what we take out in order to get rid of the oil. And if you look just a little bit beyond that, right up here, that is actually the oil filter. So we'll take that off and replace it with a new oil filter as the oil is draining, and then we will put the plug back in and then put the oil back in. So I will circle back here in just a minute. Alright, Sweetie Pie, I'm back now. So I actually just broke this loose already, but this is a 17 millimeter drain plug, so you'll need a 17 millimeter socket on a ratchet or an open end wrench, and then basically it just simply turns off of there. Now the oil could be extremely hot if you just run the car, so be careful as you pull this off. You might burn your hand a little bit, but it's usually not too bad. And there we go. It just starts draining into the oil pan. So that is the first part where we are removing the oil. Next, after this finishes draining, we're going to wait until it finishes draining because I can't get my hand up to the oil filter without getting a mess. So I'm going to hang off for a second. So anyways, that's the oil draining. I will be back. Okay, baby, I'm back. So oil is just about done draining. However, there's oil up in the motor that's going to continue to drain down into the pan for quite a while. So what I usually do is I'm going to go ahead and just put the drain plug back in. I'm just going to make it finger tight though. I just dropped it. Darn it. There it is. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and put it in, but I'm just going to make it finger tight. Now it's very, very important that you remember to come back and make sure that this is tight. The reason I'm only making it finger tight though is because I'm going to just put it in here so it doesn't drip on me while I'm trying to get the oil filter out. And then what I'm going to do is take it back out and let it finish draining after I do the oil filter. So, but that's the main reason for that. Just make sure that if you do this, that you don't forget to come back and make sure that everything's all hunky-dory on the drain plug. So, all right, so I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way and then we're gonna do the oil filter. Okay, so we're back. So I'm just getting ready to pull off this oil filter. So really all you do is you go up there and you just have to twist it off. Now these are generally really tight. No matter what, when you drive the car over 3, 4, 5, 7, 10,000 miles, it just seems to, no matter what you do, it always seems to get super tight and it's almost impossible to get off with your hand. Now you can get like a big set of channel lock wrenches up there, or a wrench up there or something like that, and try to get it on there and give it a twist. If you they actually make an oil filter wrench that can go on that, which I don't have. I've lived all my life doing this and have never bought one, but it probably would be a good idea for you to get one if you ever do this, because it's you're probably not gonna, your hand probably isn't gonna be strong enough to get it off. But anyways, I did break it loose already with the set of channel locks, and so now I'm just gonna twist it off. And it's actually still a little bit tight, even though I broke it loose. And there is no easy way of getting this off without making a mess. So no matter what you do, there's going to be oil that comes down, and as you can see, it drips down. So make sure that you have your pan ready to catch the oil, otherwise you're going to get it all over the ground. So I'm going to let that drain just for a second before I go back up there and take it the rest of the way off. And this could be hot too, so be careful. It's definitely pretty warm. And then you just have to find a place to put it. So anyways, that is, so far we have, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that drain plug back out to let the rest of the oil that's drained down into the pan out before I start filling the oil again. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So now I'm just going to remove this plug again. Remember, we just put it up there finger tight, just temporarily, while we got the oil filter out. And we're going to finish letting this drain. Now you'll see that when I take this plug out, there will be quite a bit of oil that comes back out again. Well, not quite a bit, but it's a steady stream now instead of just dripping. So we're going to finish letting that drain for a little while, and I'm going to go get the oil filter and prepare that to go put on. Okay, so here is our old oil filter, and here's our new oil filter. I prefer to use Mobil 1 oil filters because they are really good. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're worth it, I believe. You use M1 110A, that's the oil filter that you can use. There are other brands out there. You can use pretty much any other brand or anything like that, but this is the one that I prefer because they're known for being a good oil filter. So we'll go ahead and take this off. Now before you put the oil filter on the car, you want to, ooh, this one actually has some plastic over top. Get that off. Now before you put the oil filter back on, you want to take a little bit of oil and oil this ring, and you want to oil that up pretty good. This is the oil that we use. I actually get this from Costco. You always want to use full synthetic, and then you also want to use 0W20. That's the weight of the oil. That's the one that goes with this car. I always get these at Costco. This is the Kirkland brand. I've done some research on it, and this is every bit as good as pretty much all the other motor oils out there. So the more expensive ones, but this, you'll get it for half the price of what you'll pay for other stuff in the store. So if you got a Costco nearby, buy this instead. So anyways, what we're going to do, like I said, we want to oil the top of that ring. So I just put a little bit of oil on my finger and get it on this rubber gasket here. This is actually gonna, even though it's always still really hard to get it off, this will make it a little bit easier. It's still going to be really hard, but if you don't put oil on this rubber gasket, you may not ever get that thing off. So make sure that you oil up this gasket. All right, so that is nice and oiled up right now. And I'm just going to put a little bit more on there just to make sure it's good and soggy. And then we just thread this back on to the same place where we took the old oil filter off. So I'm going to go do that. And one more thing, before you walk away from this jug, put the cap back on. Because there is a 100% chance that if you leave the cap off, you'll end up knocking it over. So, trust me. So, put your cap back on. Anyways, I'm going to go put the oil filter on now. Okay, so we're putting the oil filter back on. And the way that you do these oil filters is you just twist it on until it touches. So right there, the oil filter is actually seated flat against the mating surface. And then once it reaches the point where it's seated flat against the mating surface, you turn it one extra half to 3/4 of a turn, which is pretty much as tight as you can get it with your hand, basically. There we go. And that's about all the tighter that you want to make it. So now, I went ahead and put the drain plug back in, but it's only finger tight, and now we need to tighten that up. Now this gets tightened to about 25, I'm not actually sure, I gotta look it up. I think it's around 25-ish torque foot-pounds, which isn't super tight. You want to make it snug, you want to make it tight, but you don't want to make it too tight, because if you strip that out, well, that just sucks. So, but I think it's around 25-ish foot-pounds. I'll actually look it up to make sure. And then if you get yourself a torque wrench, which you can pick one up pretty cheap at Harbor Freight, you can actually make sure that you're torquing it down correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that guy up. Okay, got the drain plug nice and tight. Got the oil filter nice and tight. Everything is good under here. Now, really important that you just double check and triple check. Just think about everything that you took apart. Make sure you walk through it in your mind. Make sure you make sure everything is back together and tight and everything like that before you start putting oil in it. We are good here. I just double checked this. I just double checked that. Now, and then the other thing too is we're not going to be crawling under here anymore. So, really important that you remember to get everything out from underneath the vehicle. I actually one time rolled a vehicle down off of the ramps while the jack stands were still under here, and fortunately I didn't do any damage, but I could have. So I mean, if they were in the wrong place, This stuff isn't real strong. I could have put a jack stand right through the oil pan or doing something stupid like that. So make sure that you get everything out from underneath the car. Double check and triple check nothing's under there before you decide to roll the car off of the ramps. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to start putting oil back in it. Okay, I'm getting ready to put the oil back in. I just wanted to show you this. This is on page 147 of your owner's manual. If you have a question about some of the fluids that go in the vehicle, this is where you find it. And right here, let's see here. So as a place to start, this is the fluid that it takes. It takes motor oil 0W20, and right here, this is the amount of oil that you put in. So this is if you change it without changing the oil filter, and this is when you change it when you do change the oil filter. Now, we always change the oil filter when we change the oil, so but this is where you start. Usually what I do is I start at 5 quarts, and then I just gradually top it off as I go. So, and then we're getting ready to put the oil in, so we need to pop the hood. Right here, there's your brake pedal, gas pedal, emergency brake, and then right there you're going to find the hood release. Just give that a pull and the hood will release. And then after you pull the hood release, somewhere under here, there you go. You can see it right there. You're just going to lift up, or you're just going to pull over on that, and then the hood will come up. That's a safety latch, just in case the hood accidentally gets pulled while you're going down the car. This should keep it from flying open and hitting your windshield. Okay, so now we have this hood open. Here's your engine compartment. And if we're looking at for the front of the car, coming straight forward and then straight down, there is the oil filler hole. And you can see on there it also says 0W20, plenty of places where it's showing you what kind of motor oil to use. And what we're going to do is go ahead and just get a funnel and start putting it in there. Like I said, it takes 5.7 quarts according to the manual. What I usually do is I put in 5 quarts first, and then I'll pull it down off the ramp and get it level, and then I'll gradually add more to make it the right level. So, and then in order to check the oil level, coming over here, this is the dipstick for checking the level of the oil. So once we start getting oil in there, and we'll pull it down off the ramps and get the vehicle level, we'll start using this in order to check the oil to make sure that we're getting the right amount of oil in there. So here we go. Okay, I've gone ahead and I've put 5 quarts of oil into the engine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and start it up, roll it down off the ramps, and then get it level, and then start checking the oil. Now I like to start it before I do my final check to level it off, because it takes a minute for the motor to pull and fill the oil filter and everything like that. So I want to make sure that I get an accurate reading. So 5 quarts is plenty of oil for it to run for a little while. So you can go ahead and start it up and pull it down off the ramps if you're on ramps, or just lower it down off the jack if you jacked it up, and then we can check the oil. Now you want to make sure also that you do not start the motor without putting on the cap for the oil. My Aunt Sharon actually had her oil changed once, and the person who changed the oil for her forgot to put the oil cap back on, and it spewed all over the inside of the motor. So do not start the motor without putting the filler cap back on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, start it up, pull it down off the ramp, and then we will proceed with checking the oil. There it is. Okay, I just pulled it down off the ramp. Something else that I like to do, let me see if I can clear my lens here. There we go. So what else I like to do is just let it run for just about 30 seconds or a minute, but I like to just get the RPM up to about 2,000 just for a little bit. Just like that. Just to make sure that we've got oil fully circulated through the oil filter and everything like that. And then we'll go ahead and just shut it off. Now, you don't want to just get out and check the oil immediately, because the oil is all up through the motor right now. And hey baby, and if you check it right now, you might get a false reading because it's going to read lower than what it actually is. So you got to give it some time to let the oil drain down into the pan. So now is a good time to do a little bit of cleanup work. Make sure you get all your oil put away and everything like that. And then we're going to go ahead back and check the oil and make sure it's all topped off to where it should be. All right, be back in a little bit. All right, sweetie pie, I'm back. Say hi to Grandpa. Wave, Grandpa.
What's that?
Wave to Maggie.
Oh, hi, Maggie. Are you there?
No, I'm just taking a video for her.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a mess. I just came home from work and everything else here. Hi, Maggie. How are you doing? Yep. Okay. We miss you. Bye.
So I'm oil change for her. All right, sweetie pie. So this is where you check the oil. So the car's been sitting for about 5-10 minutes. So the oil's had a chance to drain down. When I do that, I usually take a minute to just clean off the engine bay here a little bit, you know. So this still looks a little bit dirty, but it looks way better than it did. It just makes me feel better about the car. So anyways, you just pull the dipstick out, and first, I've already pulled this out and wiped it off, but as you can see, the oil just dropped it on the ground. Let's try that again. So we're going to put it back in. Fill it back out. And then you can see the oil level is about where my fingernail is. And remember, we only put 5 quarts in, so this is where I just take some time and just top it off. Slowly put oil in there and check it again until we get up to the top. Generally speaking, the distance in between the top mark and the bottom mark is 1 quart. So if it's at the bottom mark, you can generally put in about 1 quart and it'll put you back up to the top mark. But that's pretty much it. So so once you get the oil level to where it needs to be, you just put everything, make sure the cap is on nice and tight and the dipstick is in place, and then you're ready to go. So that's it. I love you, baby. And that is an oil change on your new car. Love you. Bye-bye.